What's up guys, it's Josh back with another video, and today I want to show you guys one of the most beautiful Arch Based Linux distributions that you can get. So let's get started. So welcome back to the channel. I definitely appreciate you guys coming through. But today I want to do a quick distro review of Xero Linux. Now this is one that is Arch based, and it's rated as one of the most beautiful Arch based Linux distributions that you can actually get. Now I'm not 100% sure about that because this is my first time actually looking at this distribution. I read a little bit about it a while back, and I actually downloaded the ISO because I knew I wanted to do a video. But we all know Arch Linux is like one of the most popular Linux distributions, you know, for people that want to have more control over their operating system. And I haven't seen too many content creators make videos on this distribution, so I want to hop in there and be one of the first to actually cover it. But let's go on and hop over to the website so we can check out Xero Linux. Alright, so we are at xerolinux.xyz, and of course I'll always have the link down in the description of the video so you guys can download it as well and test it out in your own environment. But Xero Linux, it says an eye candy lover's wet dream, a creation by Dark Zero. So I'm assuming that's the creator of Xero Linux, and there are all their links right there below. But I only wanted to come here just show you guys how to download it right fast. But and it's not hard to download. I just wanted to cover it though, at least, so you can get it from here. Just download. They currently have one offering, and that's something I saw when I looked at it today. But a couple weeks ago when I originally downloaded the ISO, they did have XFCE version and another version, I believe, that you could download. But the current flagship desktop environment is KDE, and we all know, if you've been around Linux, we all know that KDE can be a beautiful desktop environment depending on how it's set up. So I'm really excited to actually check this out. So let's go on and hop over to the virtual machine so we can get this thing installed. And of course I downloaded the KDE version, so that's what we'll be checking out today. So let's hop over to it. Okay, cool. So I have Xero Linux booted up, and the first thing that will pop up is the installer. As you can see, it has a couple of options right there. Well, it's actually not the installer, it's just a welcome screen that gets you to the installer. As you can see, the first one right here is start Xero Linux installer. Then there's a debugger mode. You can start the installer in debugger mode. You can launch the partition manager, and then you can also check out some VMware tools for resolution fix if you need it, if you're installing this in VMware. But let's go on and install it. I'm gonna start the installer just by clicking this button. And so that's very convenient. You can play around with the desktop a little bit, you know, beforehand, just to see what it's all about, you know, from the live ISO. But I recommend, you know, you just go on and install it, especially if you're in a virtual machine. Doesn't matter, you know what I'm saying, just go on and install it. And to me, this looks like the Calamaris installer. I'm sure that's what this is. Let's click on it. Yeah, it is. It's the Calamaris installer 3.2.54 for Xero Linux KDE. So let's go down and press OK. But the first thing you want to do is select your language, and our language is American English. And let me see if I can make this thing a little smaller so I can move it from behind my face so you guys can actually see the buttons that I'm clicking on. But American English, so let's hit next. Now one cool thing about this distribution, because I actually looked at the installer but I didn't install it. I opened it up the first time I booted up this ISO a while ago, like a couple weeks ago, but I didn't fully install it, so I just wanted to see what the options were in here. And as you can see, you know, you got a lot of options when you go in here, especially for the core, which is basically the operating system itself, as well as drivers that you can install. It's a lot of stuff you can get out of here. You know what I'm saying? So newer version than the ISO, so stock Arch kernel, so you use that. But they have a LTS kernel. This is a more stable kernel based on what it states. Right here you can select the CPU microcode if you want to, so your U code, AMD or Intel, light DM for the login, which I'm gonna select that. I always like to see a greeter. So, and that says only for Intel NVIDIA hybrid laptops, but I'm gonna just install it anyway just to see what happens. Optimus manager, so this is for, you know, Intel NVIDIA GPU switching, latest Intel GPU drivers, so you can get your drivers there, audio drivers as well, power management, so you can install that as well. You can select what you want. Has a lot of options. Printer support, you can put that on here, and I'm not gonna add much to it. I just want to put the login screen and stock Arch Linux for the core of the operating system. We can actually, you can actually put more if you want to. I'm just gonna kind of make the install a little faster by just only selecting a few things. Now, this is where the fun starts. You know, these are all the packages you can put on the system, which I thought was super cool when I saw it before. You have plenty of tools, and this is by far one of the best ways to install Arch Linux, especially if you're not that great with the command line. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times when I install Arch, I have scripts, you know, written with all the software that I want installed on my system to get everything back running once I install the operating system. Well, if you're not like me, then this is a good distribution for getting everything set up, because you can select whatever software you want installed on the system, and then when it's done, you have everything on the system that you want. So you don't have to go search for packages, you know, go through the package manager, look for things. It'll already be there from the install. But let's look through a few of these things. I just want to show you guys they got Android tools, iOS tools, audio, you know, music players, and most of the popular music players, you know, Audacious. Trying to think of a couple of other ones I've used. The only one I've really used is Audacious, and yeah, I haven't used many of these, and actually I need to start looking at some audio players, but they got editors in here. So Audacity, if you use that, which is not 100% free and open source now, but whatever, it's there, or they made changes to it, you know what I'm saying. Let's see, other audio, so Easy Tagger, Rhythm Box, which you would think that would be up here in the audio players, because I've used Rhythm Box back in the day. But benchmarking tools, so you can install that, Dev Studio tools, Disk USB tools, internet, so you can install all your different browsers. So let's say you want Brave installed and Chrome installed, which I'll put both of them on now for right now, and also Firefox down up in here, Opera, you know, Otter browser. They got your email clients, so I always like to see Thunderbird. That's one of my favorites, so we'll put that on there as well. Office suite, let's go down and put LibreOffice on there. Let's see, password managers. One of those things I like to see all the time, you know, is a password manager, so you're good to go with that. They have GNOME software. Well, hold on, those were additional package managers. Sorry about that, I thought that was a password managers. But yeah, KeePass, Bitwarden if you want to use it. But yeah, you could put those other package managers under here as well. Let's see, remote desktop, terminal emulators, themes and tools. So they got a whole bunch of themes in here. I'm gonna put that Dracula theme on there and a Nordic theme. Let's put that on there just so we can see something a little different when we get into it. So terminal emulators, we can, you know, put some stuff on there as well with that. Let's try the cool retro term. That looks cool. And then yeah, so we'll roll with that. They have a whole bunch of utilities, CPU tools, command line tools, systems utilities, and I'm not gonna, you know, go through all of this, but I wanted to at least show you that they do have a whole bunch of options. I'm trying not to make the video like super long, but video tools, so video editors, converters, players, all that good stuff. You can pretty much put what you want on here. MPV, VLC, if you want to try it, I'm gonna just put MPV on there. And then VirtualBox, you can install VirtualBox, right from here. You can put your guests, all that stuff on here, and then Wine all in one. So let me expand it so you guys can see what's in it. But pretty much all the packages for Wine. So Wine Tricks, Wine Mono, Gecko, so you can install all that. So let's go to the next one. But pretty much just setting up your location. So I'm in America, in Los Angeles area or time zone, so that's good to go. Set up our keyboard, good to go. Now let's set up the disk. And what I did was gave this virtual machine 32 gigabyte virtual hard disk. So you want to make sure you select whatever disk you want to install it on, erase disk, and then you can give it a swap to file if you want to, and you leave it Btrfs, that's fine. And then you can also encrypt the system, and then also you want to make sure your bootloader is on the right one, which we're good to go right there. So let's hit next, and then let's create our user account. So Josh, and then I'm gonna name this thing Xero L, and then let's go down and type in a super strong password for it. Boom, and then let's use this same password for the administrator account so we don't have to type it in twice. Log in automatically without asking for a password. You never want to select that. I always recommend you guys don't do that. But let's hit next, and then let's go down and install. And I'll be back when this thing actually finishes. It'll go through, install all those packages we designated, install the operating system, obviously, create your boot partition, all that good stuff, and install the bootloader and all that good stuff, and we'll be good to go. And all we got to do is reboot the machine after this. So I'll be back when that actually finishes. All right, so the install is complete. Let's go down and we just restart the system. I'm not sure why the logo is right there in front of it. It's kind of weird, you can't really see it, but what this is saying is close installer, and you can continue playing around with the actual desktop environment if you want to, and then restart later, or you can restart now. So what I'm gonna do is just hit the restore system. That way they'll go on and restart, and I'll be back when it actually comes up. Okay, cool. So we logged into the system. This is the one on the hard drive. So first thing that'll pop up is a configuration tool. As you can see, it goes through a whole bunch of stuff. As you can see, NVIDIA core checker, shell configuration, configure Samba if you want to, install KVM or QEMU, and then NVIDIA legacy drivers, and then coming soon June 6th, I'm not sure what that is, but then extra packages. So if you want to install extra packages, you can click there. Disable auto start, so that'll basically disable this configuration tool from opening up every time you reboot the system. But I'm gonna leave it on just for this video. But let's go through that desktop environment. So pretty much that's a cool background that they come with by default, and that's cool that this is kind of clean. It's a clean desktop. What I'm saying? Nothing is on it. You don't have any icons, no taskbar up here at the top. All you have is the dock down at the bottom, and it looks very responsive, the way it is, the way it's set up or whatever. And then so let's start over here on the right hand side. And the first thing, let's look at the software center that comes with it. So this is PacMac, and it's an awesome GUI style package manager. So you can go through and find all your apps and install them. And as you can see, it's already showing some of the stuff we have installed already, but you can go through and find whatever you need. They got it broken up by category, so you can look at the different categories to install your software, and then groups, we can look at that as well. And you can check out the full group packages. So like for instance, let's say you want to install a whole nother desktop. So this is the group package for Mate right here. So you can install Mate and Mate Extra. You know what I'm saying? So the group packages you can actually install. Sure, XFCE is on here as well. Well, hopefully it is. Yeah, it should be. Yeah, XFCE4. So you can install XFCE4, that desktop environment, you know, good to go. If you want to try out other desktop environments, and then also your repositories. So you got all your repositories, and it shows the packages under each one of those repositories that are activated. And as you can see, this is the Zorn repository, and then that's the XL repository. But you also had a community repository for Arch, which is the Arch user repository, and multi-lib, extra core, you know, pretty much all those main repositories are already there. So you can look at the install packages if you need to. And then also, this is where you can check for updates. And let's see what version of PacMac this is. And I only know this because I use Arch, you know, on pretty much all my systems that I use on a frequent basis. So I kind of know what PacMac looks like, you know, when you first open it up. But PacMac 10.3.0.5 package manager with ELP, AUR, Flatpaks, and Snap support. So that's our awesome, you know, GUI style Pacman or package manager. So system is up to date, so it did do the updates when we ran the installer. So now let's go down and close that, and let's go to our grub customizer. So if you want to go in and modify grub, you have that option right here on the dock, and I'm sure you can remove some of this stuff if you want to. Let's right click on it and see. Yeah, you can unpin it from the launcher. So let's close that back. But yeah, you can modify your grub. So let's go down and close that. I'm not gonna mess around with that, but that's cool. They have a lot of utilities here and settings and stuff, so you can add your apps though through here, you know, as you open up things, you know, and play around with different pieces of software. But this is a application. I'm not sure what this is. Let's see about this. So yeah, it's a GNOME disk utility. So let's go down and close that. But as you can see, you know, it's very simple to use. I've used this on GNOME in the past, but that's a good way of working with disks if you don't want to work in the command line using like Gported or something like that. You can format this and change up this all you want right up in here in the disk application. So settings, let's go to system settings, and this should be pretty huge because KDE systems settings is kind of small the way they have it set up, and then you have to kind of look for stuff. It's small. I'm sure you probably could change this up the way it looks, but this is awesome though, the way they have it set up. But we have our themes that we installed. So the Nordic theme, and let's go down and switch it up to that, see what it looks like. Hit apply, and we might have to restart this. Oh, it already restarted it. That's fine. So the Nordic theme looks pretty cool, you know what I'm saying. Let's look at the Nordic darker. And I like that Dracula theme. I actually need to put it on my main machine. I haven't used it in a while. I haven't had it on my system in a while. But also Breeze is there by default. But you have all your different themes. You can add more themes, you know, all that good stuff. You can find themes in the AUR, you know what I'm saying. So if you see one somewhere, check and see it may be in the AUR or a package that you can install. But workspace behavior, and I'm not going to go through all these different settings, but pretty much this is where you go through and make all the changes to your desktop environment that you want to. So you got your workspace settings, you got your personalization, so notifications, users, you know, all that good stuff, KDE wallets, networking. You have your networking settings right there. So pretty much this is where you go for pretty much anything you want to customize on this system. As far as system settings, it's like the global system settings, and you know that if you use KDE, you know, before, but if you're new to KDE, this is where you go. If you have like under hardware right here, you know, just throw this in there. But let's say you got some display issues you want to work out, you can go right under system settings and find and fix your hardware issues, or mouse or display. You know, you got an extra screen that you got hooked up, Thunderbolt, removable storage, you know, all that good stuff. So let's go to the about system, because I I kind of wanted to see what version of the kernel is on here, and it's 5.17.1, so that's good to go. And then also KDE Plasma version, so 5.24.4, framework 5.92.0, Qt version 5.15.3, and the graphics platform is X11, so we're good to go there. And then this breaks down our hardware, and as you can see, when I installed this operating system, when I created this virtual machine, I gave it 2 processors and 8 gigabytes of memory. So you can, and then also you can look at some more systems information. So system monitor, and that's cool. It opened up that system monitor right there. That's dope right there. That's basically HTOP, but a GUI version. You know what I'm saying? You can look at your applications, history, and it's probably not much history because this is a new a new install, and then your processes. So like I said, this is HTOP, you know, for the GUI. You know what I'm saying? So has pretty much all the information about the system. So that's dope that that's there. So let's go down and close that. And then that's pretty much all I want to show you guys on the system settings. So let's go down and close that off. And my icons changed up. I don't know if you guys saw that, but my icons actually changed up per that theme. So that's super cool that that happened. So system settings, we got console, our terminal. So and it already has that installed, whatever that is. I'm not even sure what this is. I use Arch, by the way. That's funny. But all your software information as well as your hardware information, so that's automatically popping up. And maybe I need to go look at some more systems information grabbers or systems information displayers for the terminal, whatever they're called. I probably need to check that out. You know, that's super cool. But let's go down and close that out. And Quantum Manager, so you can use that if you want to. I don't know much about that, but let's go to Falcon and see what this is, because I don't even know what this is. So that's a browser. Okay, so the start page, is it start page or Falcon? I don't know. Let's see. Let's go to the about Falcon. Never heard of this. So this is a Qt web engine or application, so that's dope, and it looks like it uses Firefox or something to that effect. But I also see Chrome here, so I don't know. It says Safari. Not sure what that means. But it says Mozilla Firefox. The rest of it is in parentheses, so I don't know. But that looks cool. I maybe need to check that out and see what Falcon is all about. So like I said, this is my first time looking at it, but that's cool. This is cool. It search results are provided by DuckDuckGo on Falcon. So that's cool. Let's go down and close that. You know what I'm saying? Now let's check out the Explorer, or File Explorer, so to speak. But this is Dolphin, so we can check that out. You know what I'm saying? That is, you know, basically the default, you know, File Explorer for KDE. So Dolphin is always there. You know what I'm saying? So let's check out the version, just to look at it. 21.12.3. Okay, so that's what comes with it by default, you know, currently as of today. And then present Windows button, and then right here at the end, let's see, present Windows button. Let's right click on it. Okay, so present Windows all desktops, present Windows current desktop, present Windows window class. So since we don't have anything open, because I'm assuming it's talking about the desktop, so let's open up a couple things right fast, and let's see if we can move some of this stuff to a different desktop. And it's kind of hard for me to do this because I'm in a virtual machine and I'm on my system. If I, you know, use some of those keys, you know what I'm saying, then like shortcut keys, then to move to a different desktop, you know, I may do it on my main machine, and I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? And I only have a few commands that I could push to this virtual machine, so I won't play around with it. But I'm assuming that's just the way you look at your desktop, you know, or your different windows that you have open. Actually, let's try it that way. Hold on, let's see. Boom. Let's open that up again. Let's open up Dolphin again, and let's click this, see what happens. Okay, all right, so that just opens up or shows you all the windows that you have open. So that's not for the different desktops, so that's super cool. You know what I'm saying? You can use that. It's kind of like an alt tab but with a button. You know what I'm saying? So let's go on and close that though, but that's super cool. And I really like the way it looks. Like when I open this up, Dolphin, you see the transparency in the background. That's super cool. I like when you see that a lot. You know what I'm saying? And that's super cool. When I clicked on it, it pulled the other window and then pulled it back in place right behind it. So it's like it moved around this window to go to the back. So that's super dope. Let me see what happens. Yeah, that's dope. It went to the top. So that's super cool right there. So yeah, I really like that. But the transparency is super cool. You see how you can see the transparency, or you can see the window behind it. That's actually dope right there. So that looks pretty cool. So maybe that's one of the things that they say why this desktop environment is, or not this desktop, but this distribution is beautiful. But that's pretty much all I wanted to show you guys. Like I said, this is an awesome distribution. You know, it's Arch based, so it's rock solid. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely want you guys to check this out. You know, it's an awesome distribution. You know, anything Arch I try to cover or try to show you guys. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a Arch fan, so to speak. And so anytime I see a new Arch distribution or Arch distribution being talked about in any way, whether it's an article or someone else's video, I definitely try to check it out. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And if you have any questions, leave comments down in the comments below. And of course, keep it techie.